figure enthusiasts, and welcome to Scaled Affairs, where I will take a closer look on scale figures, price figures and Nendoroids alike. Today's figure is Taito's original Shifuku version of Hatsune Miku, or as I like to call her, the pita bread Miku. You know, because of her massive yellow base that is not only shaped and structured like a pita bread, no, it is also almost a 1-to-1 scale of 1. Before we went on to the actual figure, let's address the elephant in the room, the final base design Taito went with. Some, or should I say most, find it pretty ugly and unnecessarily big, but me personally, I don't mind it that much. Yes, it's big and yes, it does look a bit silly, but I've seen much more uglier bases in my life. I would even say that they put some unnecessary effort into it by giving it a somewhat detailed structure on the top, and since this Miku is quite tiny even for price toy standards, it also helps a bit that the figure will not be overlooked once seated in your showcase. Speaking of showcase, you will need a height of almost 12 cm and a floor space of about 16 by 16 cm. On the right side, I summarized some of the figure's key details for you. Okay, let's talk figure. You might dismiss this as just another themed Miku release for the small budget, and even if this isn't completely wrong, she is also a really interesting price figure. For once, her original artwork as featured on the box is beautiful and already makes you curious how they managed to cram all those delicate details the artwork is showing into this small box. When you take her out of the box, you will find Miku embedded in a plastic blister like many price figures these days. Her twin tails are already attached, but the base and the pillow are packed separately. To mount the figure, you have to stick the pillow onto a peg on the base and simply place Miku in front of it. Miku is not supported by the base in any way and will also sit on her own. So if you really hate the base or don't have enough space, just place her wherever you like. And since the pillow overlaps a little bit with her coat, it also stands without the base. Therefore, you can choose to display Miku with base and pillow, Miku without base but with pillow, and Miku without any base or pillow. The thing I like the most about this release is not her facial expression, but admittingly, she is damn cute. One of the friendliest and most appropriated Miku faces I've seen in a long time. No, the thing I was most impressed with was the structure of her vest and also the pillow. Her vest is supposed to represent a knitted fabric, and despite how small this figure is, you can still see the texture. Same goes for the pillow. I'm often thinking how anime figures will evolve or get better over time and what might be the next big thing. And those textures that look almost like they are 3D printed might be a technique that will become more and more common in the future for certain figures. Besides Miku's detailed outfit, this figure also has a very convincing pose. You don't often get a pose this balanced and playful on a cheap price figure. The only cop-out on the design is that her feet don't touch the ground. Especially her right feet is a good 2mm lifted and has a noticeable gap between base and figure. One could argue that it is motion frozen in time and that you can shift her a bit so it won't be that noticeable, but still I would have preferred if her feet touched the ground when rested on a solid surface. But I guess it's because this figure has a really soft and pliant feel to it, and it must be hard to do precise posing when using cheaper materials. Speaking of cheap, the one thing I'm not okay with when it comes to quality are Miku's hair on this figure. They look rough, have heavy seams and gaps and look downright grainy in some areas. Also, I think they missed an opportunity by not printing something on her cup. A symbol as simple as a tune or something matter would have been nice, because as for now I found the cup a bit too plain. Initially I wouldn't have expected that I can say so many things about this tiny price figure, but admittingly this is a very solid release from Taito and a great figure to take photos of. For once you got these great textures and details, and on the other hand you can just touch up all the rough looking parts and seams when doing post-production. Next time I will take a closer look on Artifix's Japanese version of Bakugo Katsuki. Until then, take care and keep collecting those gorgeous figures.